Welcome to my very first monthly mashup video, a monthly video in which I talk about the books, TV shows, video games, and everything else that I enjoyed in that month. I'll be giving you my recommendations, and hopefully you'll leave some for me down in the comments. Now, because I had a very busy and stressing last couple months, and I didn't really upload during that time, I decided to make this a mashup for both January and December. Now, here in British Columbia, Canada, it has been very cold these last couple months. So it's currently the start of a big snowstorm that's coming through town, and it's supposed to drop down to -22 to -30 Celsius. It's only -8 right now, but I am freezing. That's Canada for ya, I suppose. Not only did my truck completely freeze over, but we also had a 23-hour power outage in my neighborhood, which did not stop me from reading The Wheel of Time, and also watching my neighbor Totoro on my laptop. Anyway, I'll leave some timestamps here if you want to jump around in the video, but let's start with an unboxing that I filmed back in December, but never had the chance to put up. So a little while back, I was contacted by the wonderful people over at Tokyo Treat to check out one of their premium boxes. This has 17 different Japanese candy and snack items, plus one drink. So I couldn't really say no because I love candy, I love Japanese culture, and I've been wanting to try some more Japanese candy. Now this was actually their November box. I got it around December 3rd, but I just haven't had the chance to open it until now. I can definitely hear something liquid in there. I probably shouldn't shake it up. So they packed it really full, which is a good thing, because I am very hungry. So this is a guide of all the snacks in English, so I know what I'm eating. So let's start off by trying this potato snack corn pottage. It looks like a big chip. Oh, wow. That is actually like super flavorful. I was not expecting that. It's got this type of spice to it that's really, really good. Honestly, this is already like my favorite item in here, and I haven't tried anything else, but I'd be happy just eating this. Yeah, it just says it's corn pottage flavor. I've never had corn pottage, but this is delicious. Next we have mochi choco. I was hoping there'd be some mochi in here because mochi is delicious. It smells like one of those wagon wheels. It's kind of got that fake chocolate flavor, it just doesn't really taste like real chocolate. So next, I will try this Constellation chocolate cookie, which yeah, it just looks like a cookie with chocolate on it. Nothing too different there. Kind of what you would expect. Next we have chocolate doroyaki. Doroyaki is a type of pancake sandwich typically filled with red bean custard, or in this case, chocolate. I love chocolate. First of all, this is super cute. It kind of smells like a Twinkie. Again, it's kind of the fake chocolate, but it's still really good. It definitely has that pancake texture to it. Next is another corn pottage snack. This time in puffed form. It kind of smells like a Cheeto. Wow, so again, it kind of tastes like the last corn pottage thing. I've never had corn pottage before, but it's got some type of spice to it, and also kind of tastes like a cornflake. I don't know how to describe it. If these came in like a giant family-sized bag, I would buy it with no shame. And Pan Man apple gummies. It smells like super sweet apple juice, and it has this little sticky stuff here, which is actually edible. It's rice paper, so I'm not gonna bother trying to peel that off. I'm just going to take one of these out. It's definitely got a very artificial type of flavor to it, but they are very good. Next we have Atsugi Luxury Potato Sea Urchin flavor. I have never had sea urchin before. I've actually wanted to try sea urchin. It's a very slight seafood flavor, not super strong, which is nice. Yeah, not really what I was expecting. I was kind of expecting like a scallop taste to it, but it doesn't really taste like that. You know what? I would almost not even realize that it is seafood flavored. I mean, it tastes really good, but I don't have anything to compare it to because I've never had a sea urchin, so now I just really want to try a sea urchin. Next, we have a brown sugar bar. It smells like brown sugar. Basically tastes like sugar and honey, and then kind of a slight stale taste to it. Very slight. Next we have Kibi Dango. Whatever that is. It has some of the rice paper again, so that is edible. It doesn't have any type of smell to it at all. I don't know what that is. I think it's a fruit leather. Apparently it has a sweet peach flavor. I definitely was not tasting peach, I was tasting peanuts. Next is takoyaki umabo. If you don't know what takoyaki is, it is basically fried dough balls with octopus pieces inside. You see it a lot in anime, but I believe this is just takoyaki flavored, but it is corn, I believe. It's like a corn puff. If you can see it, it is actually hollow in the center. Oh wow, so that has a lot of flavor to it. I've never tried takoyaki. I don't know what spices are in there, but it's got a lot of spices. There's black pepper. I don't really know what else. It's time for some chocolate pie. So this kind of looks like a strudel. At least I think that's what you call it, a strudel. Again, they kind of use that same chocolate that isn't really chocolate, but hey, I'm not complaining. Next we have matcha sandwich cookies. Oh wow, so right away it actually has a really strong matcha smell to it. I really like matcha, so maybe, I'm hoping it's not like overpowering the taste though. It actually doesn't have a super strong like green tea flavor to it. It's kind of the perfect amount actually. I actually really like those. I think that would be good to eat with a cup of green tea. That would be the ideal situation. Next we have what seems to be some type of apple flavored gummy. Kind of what you would expect an apple gummy to taste like. It has a little honey mixed in, I think, and it's not super strong on the flavor. At first I thought this was Pocky, but it is Po Rickety brown sugar flavor. These are actually really good. It's basically just brown sugar and maybe a bit of caramel or something mixed in. Next, we have a good-sized bag of Hochicha Kit Kats, and apparently Hochicha is a Japanese green tea roasted over charcoal. So if you're not a fan of green tea, then maybe don't trust my judgment because I like green tea. That does have a pretty strong tea flavor. It's not overpowering. It just has a really nice tea flavor. Okay, I'm gonna try the drink next, which is a Coca-Cola apple. I'm worried with how much I shook up the box earlier that this is going to explode. Definitely Coca-Cola. A little bit of apple flavor, but it's a really interesting combo. The last item is a Doki Doki DIY fishing kit. So I have absolutely no idea if I'm doing this correctly, but I'm going to pour the powder in now. So that did not work out well at all. My fish have not hardened at all. It's still all powdery. So I'm just gonna... It's kind of got that artificial grape, like vitamin flavor. I've never been the biggest fan of like artificial grape flavoring. Honestly, my favorite thing out of the box was the very first thing I tried, which was a corn pottage chip, I guess. Not gonna lie, I would probably eat these every day. Anyway, that was some tasty fun. If you want to try some Japanese candy and snacks your own self, then make sure to use my referral link down below to get yourself a Tokyo Treat box. It's time to talk about the books that I have been reading, but first, let me just express how hyped I am for the Stormlight Archive Book 4.
Unite them, the Everstorm comes. NANI?!
I know by now it's kind of old news that Brandon Sanderson finished writing book 4, but I still wanted to mention it because this is the book I'm the most excited for this year. And because of that, I'm going to be dedicating a lot of videos this year to Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. Just at the end of January, I finished my reread for The Way of Kings. Those of you that don't know, I've been hosting a Stormlight Archive read-along on my Discord server. Over on there, I've been making discussion posts every week, and it was a lot of fun reading through The Way of Kings and discussing it with you guys. If you would like to join in on the Words of Radiance read-along, I'll be posting the official reading schedule over on the Discord server around February 10th or 11th, so all the information for the read-along I'll be posting then. Back to the books I've been reading. The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, the second book in the Wheel of Time. I chose to reread this in December because the first time I read it was like the beginning of 2019 and I was reading too many books at once. I ended up stretching out reading this for way too long, so every single time I went back to it, I kind of forgot what was going on. I forgot some of the side characters, so I just reread the entire book and I enjoyed it so much more the second time around. As much as I loved the first book, The Great Hunt is a big step up in my opinion. There's just so much more going on, and I'm starting to really get attached to these characters. I actually enjoyed it so much that I picked up the third book, The Dragon Reborn, and I've been really enjoying this one as well. I feel like I'm kind of in the mood now to just binge my way through a bunch of books in the Wheel of Time, so that's kind of gonna be the goal this year. I want to be putting out some Cosmere videos, but I also hope to put out some Wheel of Time videos as well. Oh, and I should be putting up reviews for both of these books at some point. I finished listening to the audiobook for Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami, and that was such a wild book. I loved it. It follows two very distinct but interrelated plots, one of a teenage boy named Kafka Tamura who runs away from his home in Tokyo and finds shelter in a quiet private library. We also follow Nakata, an illiterate old man who's not too smart but has the odd ability of being able to speak to cats. He is my favorite character in the book. This story is bursting with magical realism. It often relies on allegory and metaphor, and at times it can seem kind of dreamlike in its storytelling. I started reading it after hearing the description in one of Jesse the Reader's videos, and it definitely intrigued me, and let me say that I was not disappointed, but at the same time there was some things I didn't really enjoy with this book, but it's still so amazing. It's kind of one of my new favorite books, even though there's a lot of things I don't really like about it. I still need to gather my thoughts before I make a review, but overall, I really enjoyed this book. I've been slowly making my way through the Witcher series. I'm currently on Blood of Elves. I'm only about halfway through this one right now. I'm a big fan of the games. I haven't gotten too far in the book series yet, but I did make sure to read both short stories before watching the Netflix adaptation, which I did really enjoy. I feel like there's a few odd writing bits and just direction things that I thought were kind of odd, but overall, I really enjoyed it, and you can't beat Henry Cavill as Geralt. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the books that I read. A couple of them were rereads, but I feel like I read a good amount these last couple months despite being super busy. Oh, I should also show the books that I got for Christmas. I guess I'm doing a Christmas haul. So I was gifted by my mother the Rhyria Revelations box set. I think it's pronounced Rhyria. I don't really know a whole lot about this series. I've been recommended it a lot by you guys, and I've heard it's kind of similar to The Lies of Locke Lamora, which I loved. So I do want to start this pretty soon. I believe there's a secondary, prequel series. I don't know if I'm supposed to read that first. I believe I can just start with Theft of Swords. Let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm sure if I like this series enough, I'll probably be making some lore or theory videos on it. Who knows? I was also given Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. These are actual letters that he sent to his children, which tell this beautiful little story of Father Christmas in the North Pole and his polar bear friend. Now, I listened to the audiobook of this last year, but the audiobook is just not the same. I really enjoyed it, but you don't get all the illustrations and the actual letters. It's a lot of fun to read. You can tell that Tolkien would have been an amazing dad. My family also got me a couple Star Wars books because I've been in a Star Wars mood lately. Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. Claudia Gray is one of my favorite Star Wars authors, and this book did not disappoint. There was a twist that I actually wasn't expecting. I thought I was expecting it. I did really enjoy this one. Obi-Wan is my favorite character, so I always love learning more about him. And then I was also given the 20th anniversary edition of Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. This book is one of my favorite Star Wars books of all time, and you should definitely read it. Moving on to the manga I've been reading. I love some good manga. It's typically the thing that I pick up in between the other books that I'm reading. Now, I haven't really read a whole lot of volumes in the last little while, but I have been reading Full Metal Alchemist Volume 4. This is the Full Metal edition, so it has 1.5 volumes in one. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood remains, in my opinion, one of the best animes of all time, and so far the manga has been just as good. I don't know why it's taking me this long to finally read it. I also read Volume 9 of My Hero Academia. I'm currently trying to get caught up in the manga. I did get caught up to Season 4 in the anime over this winter, but I would like to get there in the manga as well. I find this series to be so fun. It's both underrated and overrated in a way. I'm slowly making my way through 20th Century Boys. This is Volume 4 of the Perfect Editions. This series is just so weird and so good, and I love it. It follows main character Kenji Endo and his friends, who begin to notice a dangerous cult that is spreading across Japan, and they want to destroy the world. Of course, it's up to Kenji and his friends to take this cult down. But the strange thing is that this cult has something to do with their childhood memories. It's got mystery, it's got action, and it definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat. Moving on to anime and TV shows, I kind of mentioned a few already. I got caught up to Season 4 in My Hero Academia. I've also watched the Witcher Netflix adaptation. I also recently gave in and got Disney Plus in order to relive all the Disney classics of my childhood, and of course to watch The Mandalorian. Honestly, The Mandalorian is what got me excited for Star Wars again. I haven't been the biggest fan of the new movies coming out. I don't hate them as movies, but I don't think they are good Star Wars movies, if that makes sense. Anyway, Baby Yoda! Aww. I finished watching Demon Slayer, which has now become one of my favorite animes. It's about slaying demons, and it's awesome. I did find some characters to be a little over the top for my liking, but it was still a lot of fun. I also watched Season 1 of Mob Psycho 100, which again was amazing. I would highly recommend watching it. It follows Mob, a schoolboy who is in fact a powerful Esper. An Esper is somebody with psychic-like abilities. It's a really funny anime. It's got a lot of awesome battle scenes, and I love the art style. I think the art style is kind of a hit or miss with some people, but I would recommend checking it out. Oh, and of course, I have been rewatching The Office because I love it. Moving on to video games. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play that much over the last while, but there is a few games that I've been playing, such as Dragon Quest XI on Nintendo Switch. I have a little bit of a history with Dragon Quest. I played the original on NES, I've played 8 on the PS2, and I even played one of them on DS. But this one is by far the best I've played. If you're into JRPGs at all, then you definitely owe it to yourself to play this one. I've also been playing some Jedi Fallen Order. Actually, I'm almost finished it, and as many people have said, it's kind of a mix of Dark Souls and Uncharted, and I would definitely agree with that description, though it's not as difficult as Dark Souls. So far, I've really liked it, and I'd say it's one of the best Star Wars games we've had in a while. Anyway, that's the end of this monthly mashup. Let me know what things you've been enjoying lately, and if you have any recommendations.